All right, so today we're diving into the world of swimming birds. We often marvel at birds soaring through the air,
Right.
but there's something equally amazing about birds that have conquered water.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you ever just watched, I don't know, a duck gliding across a pond? It makes you realize how versatile these creatures are.
It really does. It's easy to forget that flight isn't the only remarkable adaptation in the bird world. Water presents its own set of challenges, and these birds have evolved some pretty incredible solutions.
That's what we're calling fortunate swimming birds, right? Not just surviving, but really thriving in water.
Exactly. These birds have a whole suite of adaptations that make them incredibly well suited for an aquatic lifestyle.
Okay, so let's break down those adaptations.
Well, first think about how different water is from air.
Yeah, much denser.
Exactly. So swimming birds need a way to move efficiently through that density. That's where their streamlined body shape comes in,
Makes sense.
minimizing resistance. It's all
Yeah.
about conserving energy and gliding effortlessly through the water.
It's like a built-in hydrodynamic design.
And then, of course, there are the webbed feet.
Those iconic paddles.
Those webbed feet are essential for propulsion. They act like paddles, increasing the surface area to push against the water with each stroke.
And that generates more power, more thrust.
Right. And we can't forget about staying dry. Feathers and water don't always mix.
That's right. Waterproofing is critical.
Swimming birds have evolved specialized feathers that are coated with an oily substance, repelling water and keeping them dry and insulated, even in frigid temperatures.
It's like having a natural raincoat.
And speaking of specialized features, we have to talk about beaks.
Yeah, those beaks are fascinating.
They're perfectly adapted for catching food in aquatic environments. Ducks, for example, have broad, flat beaks.
Right, for sifting through mud.
Exactly. While birds like cormorants have long, hooked beaks, ideal for snatching fish.
So it's all about the right tool for the job based on their diet and hunting style.
Exactly. Every feature is fine-tuned for success in their specific watery world.
So we've got streamlined bodies, webbed feet, waterproof feathers, specialized beaks. It's like evolution has created the ultimate aquatic toolkit for these birds.
It really is remarkable. And what's even more fascinating is the diversity within swimming birds.
Right. There are so many different types, each with its own unique story to tell.
Let's start with a familiar one, ducks.
Yeah, ducks are everywhere. Ponds, lakes, rivers.
Exactly. You'll find them in a wide range of habitats.
What makes them so successful?
Well, ducks are incredibly adaptable.
Yeah, they seem to thrive in all sorts of conditions.
They can dabble at the surface for food or dive underwater. And their diet is quite diverse as well. Plants, insects, small fish.
So that adaptability must be key to their survival.
It is. But it also makes them vulnerable to habitat changes. When wetlands disappear, so do the resources ducks rely on.
That makes sense. Okay, let's switch gears completely and talk about penguins.
Now, those are truly specialized swimming birds.
They've essentially traded flight for swimming, right?
Exactly. Penguins are masters of underwater movement. It's almost like they fly through the
And
water.
they live in some of the harshest environments on Earth.
Absolutely. The icy waters of Antarctica, for example.
Mm.
But those icy environments are also facing the brunt of climate change.
And that directly impacts penguins.
Yeah, they need stable sea ice for breeding and raising their young.
Huh.
As that ice disappears, so do their breeding grounds.
It highlights how interconnected everything is. The health of these birds is directly linked to the health of the planet.
It is. And that brings us to the ecological importance of swimming birds as a whole. It's not just about their individual survival.
Right. They play a bigger role in the ecosystem, don't they?
Swimming birds are crucial for maintaining balance in their ecosystems.
In what way?
Well, they're predators, keeping populations of fish and insects in check. They can also help with seed dispersal.
And let's not forget the simple joy they bring to people who observe them.
Absolutely. They add beauty and wonder to our natural world.
So protecting them isn't just about preserving biodiversity.
It's about safeguarding entire ecosystems and appreciating the interconnectedness of life on Earth.
And that's a responsibility we all share.
Absolutely. And that brings us to the critical topic of conservation. What are we doing to protect these remarkable birds?
So how are we tackling this challenge of conservation? What's being done to protect swimming birds?
Well, there's a lot of effort going into habitat restoration and protection.
Okay, so like restoring wetlands.
Exactly. Wetlands are critical for so many species.
Yeah, they're like biodiversity hotspots.
Right. So there are organizations working to restore damaged wetlands, create new protected areas.
So it's about giving these birds safe havens, right?
Yeah.
Making sure they have places to thrive.
Yeah, ensuring they have the resources they need. And along with habitat restoration, we need to address pollution.
Yeah, pollution is a huge problem.
It's devastating for swimming birds.
I mean, we've all seen those images of birds tangled in plastic or covered in oil.
Right. So there's a big push to reduce plastic waste.
And how's that being done?
Well, promoting reusable alternatives.
Okay, so like reusable bags and bottles.
Exactly. And improving waste management systems.
Making sure things are properly recycled or disposed of.
Right. And there are also cleanup initiatives.
Like actually going out and removing plastic from the environment.
Yeah. Cleaning up rivers, lakes, oceans.
It seems like a daunting task, but it's good to know people are doing it.
And it's not just about cleaning up existing pollution. It's about preventing it in the first place.
How do we do that?
Well, there are efforts to reduce the use of harmful chemicals in agriculture and industry.
So those chemicals don't end up in waterways.
Exactly. It's all about protecting those delicate ecosystems.
And what about education? Does that play a role?
Education is crucial.
In what way?
Well, it's about raising awareness.
Making people more aware of the issues facing swimming birds.
Right. And the more people understand,
The more they'll care.
and the more likely they are to take action.
So it's about empowering people to make a difference.
Exactly. And education isn't just for the general public. There are programs that work directly with industries.
So teaching them more sustainable practices.
Yeah, practices that minimize their impact on swimming bird habitats.
So it's a collaborative effort, everyone working together.
It has to be. And let's not forget about research.
Right. Research is important.
Scientists are constantly studying swimming bird populations, tracking their movements, analyzing their diets,
So it's like having a team of detectives.
trying to figure out what's happening.
And how to best protect these birds.
Exactly. Research helps us understand the threats they face.
And informs conservation strategies.
It's an ongoing process.
Learning and adapting as we go.
Right. And it's inspiring to see so much dedication and passion from the people involved.
It gives me hope for the future of these birds.
Me too. And, it's not just about large organizations or scientists. Individuals can play a role too.
That's good to hear. What can we as individuals do to make a difference?
Well, we've already touched on responsible waste disposal.
Yeah, be mindful of what we're throwing away.
Exactly. And we can make conscious choices as consumers.
Like what kinds of choices?
Well, supporting businesses that prioritize sustainability.
Okay, so putting our money where our values are.
Exactly. Voting with our wallets. And if you're really motivated, you can volunteer with local conservation organizations.
Or even advocate for stronger environmental policies.
Absolutely. Every little bit helps.
It all adds up.
Hmm.
And sometimes just spreading awareness can make a difference.
Yeah, talking about these issues.
Sharing information with others.
Inspiring people to care.
It's about creating a ripple effect.
And fostering a sense of shared responsibility for our natural world.
So as we head into the final part of our deep dive, I'm curious to know where we go from here. How do we take all this information and turn it into action? Yeah, it's one thing to talk about it, but turning that knowledge into action, that's the real challenge.
It is, but it doesn't have to be overwhelming. We can start by shifting our mindset.
Shifting our mindset, what do you mean?
Well, sometimes we think of ourselves as separate from nature,
Okay.
but we're not. We're a part of it. Everything we do impacts the environment.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So even small changes in our daily lives.
They can add up.
Exactly. And it's not just about grand gestures. It's about those everyday choices.
Like what?
Well, think about something as simple as picking up trash.
Okay.
You see a plastic bottle on the beach.
Yeah.
You pick it up. You're preventing that bottle from potentially harming a bird.
Or polluting the water.
Right. And you might even inspire someone else to do the same.
So it's about leading by example.
Exactly. And then there's education.
Right, we talked about
The
that.
more we learn about swimming birds and their habitats,
The more we can understand the challenges they face.
and the better equipped we are to make informed decisions.
To be advocates for their protection.
Exactly. It's about using our voices.
Speaking up for those who can't speak for themselves.
And it's not just about talking to policymakers or writing letters
It's about having conversations.
with our friends, our families, our communities,
Raising awareness.
spreading the word,
Helping others understand the importance of these birds.
and the role they play in the health of our planet.
And ultimately, I guess it's about fostering a sense of responsibility.
Yeah, a shared
A
responsibility
natural world.
because we're all connected,
And that brings us back to that vision of a world where swimming birds thrive.
where their populations are healthy,
Their habitats are protected.
and the waters they depend on are clean and vibrant.
It's a beautiful vision.
It is. And it's a vision worth striving for.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of swimming birds, what's the one message you want our listeners to take away?
I want them to remember that we all have the power to make a difference. Every action counts. We can choose to be part of the problem or part of the solution.
And let's choose to be part of the solution.
Let's be advocates for these incredible birds and the ecosystems they call home.
Well said. And to all our listeners, thank you for joining us on this fascinating journey into the world of swimming birds. We hope you've learned something new and feel inspired to take action.
Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep into the wonders of our natural world.
Until next time.